So you're gonna have to get used to sending everything via certification registered mail, right? Whenever you're dealing with these companies that's trying to do fraudulent shit, they're not your friends, and most of these people are gonna be attorneys and teams of attorneys against you, the people. Well, this is who we dealing with, right? And these are British foreign people, right? Uh, Foreign accredited registries, right? So it's teams of attorneys against you. The people that be suing you and want to take you to court and all that ain't nothing but attorneys. And in secret, and maybe even somebody you know, but they in teams. You see what I'm saying? So that's what it is. It's them people against the people. And this is the thing that we have to start becoming more vigilant of. Is they're like parasites and warlocks, right? They know the law, right? And there's so much shit that we don't know as people that we will eventually know, and we will be able to call them on their shit and start addressing it. But it starts with looking at it for squarely what it is, right? We have been dumbed down into relying on them for everything. And them people are disrespectful and fraudulent and rotten to the core. And a lot of them are, they do stuff to kids and shit. These are some wicked people that we're dealing with that live right up under them, and it's the worstest thing that Martin Luther King could have done was had them people in our proximity. Them people are no good. They're liars. They're thieves. They're baby, perpetrators. And they don't have no chill. These are the same people in the record, exact companies. And you really don't know. You think you have an idea, but these people are bad. I mean, you think, maybe somebody might be a little tattletale or did some shit. That's punk shit. These people are awful. And a lot of time they have, access to your estate because they smart enough to be sharper than you and know how to, become your trustees. And so they're administering to your estate every time that you go to court. That's what's going on, is that they're holding a trust. They're administering to your estate to get hundreds of thousands of dollars. That's what these tickets and all this shit is for, right? On your end, it's 200, 300, 500. It seems expensive. But when they get through fucking charging you, right, they're going to charge you whatever this penalty assessment is. But on the other end of the spectrum, if you paying $500 or $1,000, when the judge finishes with your ass, how much you think that the courts is getting for administering trust to you? Try 500,000. Try, something like that, 1,000,000. So, it's very imperative that we begin to study this shit, right? And it's different stuff. I don't know everything, but it's uniform commercial codes. We need to start studying law, common law, all of that shit, right? Because these people are using all this shit against you, right? So at some point, when do we start becoming more proficient at law? That we have nothing to be scared of. Until then, they're going to continue to fuck with you, mishandle your estate, steal from you. I had an attorney had me waiting for 3 years, and he gonna give me and my wife $7,000, and we know that he stole. And see, it's awful, right? I have no, man. These people are stealing. They really are stealing, and if we don't address them, they're gonna continue to do it. We gotta call a fraud out, and the only way you can call a fraud out is to start becoming your own detective, right? And anytime they try to deny you for some shit, all you do is save the paperwork. You send them, because a lot of time it's a contract, right? They're offering, They're offering the contract and you taking it personal. When they tell you something like, unfortunately, we cannot extend you that credit bid based on your uh, poor credit history, payment, and all that, right? Well, then if you leave it as is, it's like that's like you saying, okay, I'm all right with it. But if you say, well, I conditionally accept your offer provided that you prove A, B, and C. You see what I'm saying? That is how you have to start talking to them, right? You have to get them to, you got to force their hand, right? If you don't start communicating with these people on paper, right, then they're definitely going to continue to steal from you, right? You have to hold them accountable, right? You have to, and we'll talk more, but you need to have an idea, right? That you're gonna have to deal with these people via registered mail with the postal service because the postal service is going to be like your secretary. They're like the mediators, right? The post office is like the courts. It really is. You know, uh, they are like the notary public and everything. And so when you dealing with them and you sending them certified and registered mail, uh, they can't fuck with you, right? Because a lot of times they fuck over so many people. It's all fraud, right? And anytime that you send, put a down payment in, at one of these car dealerships, you are participating in fraud. Ignorance of the law is no excuse. You're not supposed to put down no money, but they compel you to do that. And a lot of times we be without so long that and we don't read the fine print. So many kind of ways they get you. We kind of slow. We don't take the time to say, let me take this to my attorney. Everything is unilateral. In other words, they just give you the paper. You don't fucking know how to negotiate. You're incompetent. And this is a problem. We have been trained to become incompetent. In other words, they dish you everything and you don't have nothing to say because you are just dealing with them like they're over you when you are just as well. As a consumer, they should be looking at you across the table and not standing up over you with these contracts telling you to sign this and you don't give them nothing to sign. You see what I'm saying? These are all the things that we're going to talk about.